In 2015, I asked God to give me a reason to live. I was feeling quite depressed and my life didn't seem to be going in any specific direction. I looked around and all my family seemed to have some type of focus in their life. They had a mother or a father in England, at least. I am the only cousin who, whose dad lives in Jamaica and whose mother who gave her up at 3 months, has now died. So I was just thinking, I've done my degree, I've done a postgraduate, my life is still not going anywhere because I suffer from overactive bladder, plus I have IBS, plus I get some anxiety issues, plus I was feeling depressed. So I just said to God, God, give me a reason to live. Before I thought if I got a husband, then I would have a reason to live. But I did get a husband, but it didn't work out. It was a case of domestic violence. So that didn't work out. I tried that. I worked at it really hard for 3 years. It was on and off, on and off, on and off, until I called it a day. So I then asked God to give me a reason to live because I was now in shared accommodation, not very happy about having to share the kitchen, about having to put up with tenants who would just talk and talk and talk at me whilst I was in the kitchen trying to concentrate when I get home from my agency job that I did because my overactive bladder, depression and IBS would play up and make it hard to keep a permanent job. So I kept saying, God, please give me a reason to live because I don't seem to have anything. I don't have money. I don't have any family member who's dedicated to supporting me in anything that I would like to do. I had a lot of dreams. I had big expectations, but I had no money to fulfill those dreams. For example, the crowdfunding website that is now going, I thought of that a long time before it was done, but I didn't have the money to fulfill that dream of setting up a crowdfunding website or any of my other dreams. Plus, I was just too depressed to look forward and plan anything. I was just getting through my day, just getting up, having my breakfast, having my breakfast, then probably eating another snack, and then probably just sitting watching TV and maybe go back for a sleep. So some days I would get up and I would be focused and getting out the house. Only it was real difficult to get out of the house. It would take me like 4 hours to leave the house. I would get up like 9 o'clock and I wouldn't get to the library until about 4 o'clock, sometimes even later, and the library closed at 5 o'clock. And that was my day in, day out. I would try to get to the library. Most of the time I didn't. Sometimes I would end up at the college 5 minutes down the road. Sometimes I wouldn't. Other times I spent most of my days going to the co-op. Sometimes I went to the co-op twice a day, so the co-op 5 minutes down the road, sometimes once a day. And the highlight of my life every week was walking to town, walking to Broadmead. I lived in Ashlydown in Bristol, and I'd walk to Broadmead, and that would make me feel alive, like I had some type of purpose. And most of the evenings I would spend just watching TV. I would watch murder shows after murder shows after murder shows. I would wake up in the middle of the night and watch Cheaters TV while I ate a snack like a banana and a bit of cake or something about 3 o'clock in the morning. Then I went back to bed. And that was my life for about a good 3 years. I would live like that. And I would do a bit of agency work, maybe 3 times a week if I could push myself to get out. And that was my life. So I kept saying to God, please God, give me a reason to live because I have no purpose in my life. So anyway, in 2015, I started to get a message from God. The message said, "You will have a baby next year. Next year, you will have a baby." Well, I didn't have a boyfriend. I had nobody. I wasn't even interested in men because I had a bad time with my husband, domestic abuse. I had other men who came in my life for maybe 2 months, and they tend to be players, and then they were gone. So I thought to myself, well, I'm not really interested in men. How am I going to get a baby? I don't even have any trust in men. Anyway, in the house that I lived in at the